Hi everyone, welcome to the video, hope you're all well. Tonight I'll be doing my tips for round 12 of the Betfred 2021 Super League competition. There's been a bit of drama this week, there's been a cancellation or two, but let's get into the first match on this revised Super League calendar. I mean, the fixtures are all over the place at the moment, like it's really hard to keep up with some of them, but we'll start with the first match, which is on Wednesday night. It's between Wigan and Warrington. This game's live on Sky Sports, so you've got Sky Sports, it's available to you. 7:45 kickoff at the DW Stadium. Wigan sit in 4th place at the moment. Warrington in 3rd place. Wigan's lost their last 3 games in a row, which is something that you don't really see too often with Wigan. Wigan's generally the team that are winning all the time, but at the moment they're in a bit of a bad spot. Warrington's won their last 5 matches in a row, and in amongst that they had the impressive win over St Helens. I watched their game last week against Leigh. It was a pretty routine victory. They were never troubled by Leigh. They won quite comfortably. For this match, I will go for Warrington to win. I'll go for them to win by 10 points. I think they're on a roll at the moment. Some of their players, the likes of Gareth Widdop and all that, are in good form, and I think they'll get the job done over Wigan. And I think it'll be a really tight game, but I am confident in Warrington getting the win. The next game is on Thursday. It's between Salford and Wakefield. This one's kicking off at 7:30, not 7:45, 7:30. It's being played at AJ Bell Stadium, Salford's home ground. At the moment, Salford, they're in a really bad spot. They're second last at the moment. They're not really in danger, I see, of getting relegated because they're a couple of points ahead of Leigh, and Leigh haven't won a game yet. Wakefield were last time winners out against Wigan. Pretty impressive win over Wigan, even though there was that game with the England and the combined team where Wigan didn't have some players in. The only highlight of the game against Leeds last week for Salford was probably the punch that Leigh Mossop did on Conrad Orwell. He laid him clean out. It was a good punch, but besides that, there wasn't many highlights in the game for Salford, and that's what it's been like for the entire year for them. For this match, I will go for Wakefield to win. I think out of the two sides, Wakefield have been playing better, and I'm going to go for them to win by 1 to 10 points. I don't think that Wakefield's going to put a score on Salford, and I don't think that if Salford were going to win, it's going to be that way inclined, but I will go for Wakefield to win by 10 points. Now, the remaining games for this week are all on the Thursday. So the next game on the Thursday sees Huddersfield up against Catalan Dragons. This one's kicking off at 7:45 at the John Smith Stadium, Huddersfield's home ground. Huddersfield's sitting 10th at the moment. They started the year off very poorly, then they had a bit of a good run there, and now they find themselves back in a bad spot. Catalans have won all their games, 6 in a row. They've had a few games called off due to COVID and all that caper, but they currently sit top of the Super League. They're playing very well. I only see this match going one way. I'm going to go for Catalan to win 13 plus. Even if Catalan were a bit lower on the table, I'd tip them anyway because they haven't played too many matches over the last month or so due to all the cancellations, so I think they'd be quite fresh in the body and mind. So I'm going to go for Catalan to win 13 plus, sorry. And the final game to close out this very short round, because we have had 1 or 2 cancellations, is Leeds up against Leigh. This one's kicking off at 7:45 PM from Headingley, Leeds home ground. Leeds sit in 8th place at the moment. Very slow start of the year. They were missing a lot of players. They have had 1 or 2 wins. They've had 2 wins in a row. They had that massive win over Castleford with 60 points to 6, I think it was by memory. And then they had a good win over Salford. Leigh, they have yet to win a game. As I said in weeks gone by, I just don't know where this win's going to come from. It's going to take a miracle, I think, for them to get a win. Their interim coach at the moment, the one that's taken over from Duffy, has said that he will guarantee that Leigh will win some games this year and they will get at least 1 win, but I just don't see where it's going to come from. They did try against Warrington, but they were just so far off the pace. It was another match where they just got totally belted off the park. I think in the last 3 or 4 games, they've conceded on average about 30 points, and in the last 2 games, they've conceded over 100. I can only see this match going one way, like the Catalans and Huddersfield game. I think Leeds are going to win 13 plus. I think they're going to do it quite comfortable over Leigh. I'll go for them to win by at least 20 points. But anyway, that's my tips for round 12 of the Betfred 2021 Super League season. You might be thinking, why is this round so short? Something's not right here. Well, if you don't really follow Super League too much, or you don't know what's happened, the Castleford against St Helens game was called off. From what I read, Castleford couldn't field the team due to COVID and some other issues, and they were ineligible to field the side. So the Rugby Football League gave St Helens a 24-0 walkover win. So St Helens stay in that top 2. Castleford are just outside the playoffs there. There's also Hull FC against Hull Kiara, I believe. I think that game got called off as well, even though I couldn't really find much on it. And it also brings in an interesting thing with next week as well, because round 13 starts on the Sunday, and Wigan, who play on the Wednesday night, have to play against St Helens on the Sunday in round 13. So it's a very strange, congested fixture list at the moment with cancellations and other things going on. But anyway, that's my tips for round 12. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know your comments and your tips in the section below. Anyway, this is Rugby League History signing off. And I'll catch us all later in the next one. Alright, tatty bye now.